Welcome back. You're watching Power Breakfast here on CNBC-TV18. Well, we spoke about the global cues and what really happened overnight, but let's get in our research team joining in with what the trade setup is looking like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news and the action from the F&O space as well. Hey guys, a very good morning to all of you. Vivek, let me come across to you first up. It is not looking like a positive global setup for now.
Well, you're absolutely right. What's actually happened overnight is that there's been quite a bit of an equity sell-off as far as global markets are concerned. The Fitch rating downgrade has weighed in on the US markets. All US markets down between 1% to 2.2%. Nasdaq down over 2%. European markets too joined the sell-off. Anywhere between 1.4 to 1.8% is where European markets ended lower yesterday. Crude oil prices too, actually joined the sell-off yesterday. Brent futures as well as WTI futures both fell over 2%. Now coming closer to the Indian markets, what actually happened yesterday was that Indian markets saw a significant sell-off. However, there was a slight recovery as far as the last hour of trade was concerned. However, one important gauge to track would be the India Volatility Index, the VIX index, which surged 10% in yesterday's trading session. A broad-based sectoral weakness with IT as well as metal stocks seeing significant selling pressure. Today, a lot of important cues to track. Earnings season, quite a few numbers would be coming out today. Sun Pharma, Lupin, Bharti Airtel, Cummins, Dabur India, all of these companies would be declaring their Q1 results today. Another important trigger is the fact that Morgan Stanley has actually gone ahead and upgraded India, so that will be an important development to track as well. Both Asian markets as well as GIFT Nifty are indicating a subdued start to our own markets.
Okay, a subdued start is expected, 60 points lower on the GIFT Nifty, but a lot of stocks that will be on our radar as well. Surbhi has that list. Surbhi?
Thanks so much for that. Quite a few earnings. The first one is Titan. It was an operational miss over there. The revenues were up 19%. Margins came in at 10% versus 13% same time last year. Indigo, very strong earnings. They reported record high revenues and profits. Margins at a record high of 31%. Gujarat Gas, it was a top-down miss. Revenue was down 4% on a year-on-year basis. Margins came in at 10% versus 14% same time last year. HPCL, it was a top-down beat. Revenues were up 4%. Operating margins came in at 8.3% versus 4%. Metropolis, the revenues were down 1% on a year-on-year basis. The margins came in at 22.7% versus 24.5%. Narayana Hrudayalaya, the highest ever quarterly revenue was reported by them. Margins came in at 22% versus 19%. And lastly, Vedanta will also be on our radar. The promoter Twinstar is likely to sell 16 crore shares via block deals today.
Okay, all right. That's all about the stocks that are on our radar, but a lot of action in the F&O space as well. Manglam is joining in now. Hey, Manglam.
Good morning. So it is weekly options expiry. Today it will be extremely important to watch out for where we go, because yesterday was a big decline that was led by, global weakness. So we presaged the decline that we saw overnight in the US markets as well. Important to see whether we see some sort of recovery or not. For now, the GIFT Nifty is indicating a soft opening after a big decline yesterday as well. But remember, the VIX, the India Volatility Index, saw a spike of almost 10%, but it's still below that 12 mark. So that's something we need to watch out for. The other thing that we've been alluding to over the last few trading sessions is the FII selling. Yesterday, they were selling from both the FIs and mild selling from the DIs, but 5 straight sessions, the FIs have sold almost $1 billion in our cash market itself. Not just that, they've been selling in index futures as well. 860 crore worth selling, 9,000 long contracts unwound, and their long exposure now stands at 49%. So for the first time in the last many series, the FIs have turned net short on the index, with their net longs dropping to a negative 43 contracts itself. It is weekly options expiry, but in a day where we saw a big decline, we would have seen a lot higher call selling, but that hasn't come about. 1.36 lakh calls written, 1.07 lakh puts written, telling you that we're closer to support levels as well. On the way up, however, we could face some resistance. 19,600 and 19,500 calls have seen a fair amount of writing, whereas the recovery from the last hour from the lows made sure that the bulls wrote that 19,450 put. Yesterday's low on the Nifty also coincided with the 30-day moving average, so important support on a technical basis. But on the way up, the 20-day moving average, which was a support, will be a bit of a resistance. For the Nifty Bank as well, yesterday's low is an important one to watch out for, because that was closer to the 50-day moving average itself. A bunch of stocks will be in focus today, but on a daily basis, we're getting each stock in F&O ban, and today the one that goes into ban is JNFC.
Okay, all right. JNFC also reports numbers next week. Thank you guys for joining us and taking us through what to watch.